Say hello to my little friend. So you may remember the 590 Shockwave that Mossberg came out with a few years ago. It was a pump option similar to this, but Mossberg said, hey, I think we could do that in semi-auto. And they did. And it took some doing because the gas system had to be moved forward because they wanted to put this bird head type grip on the rear. And what we ended up with is the Mossberg 990 Aftershock. It's a 5+1 12 gauge other firearm. Certainly looks like a shotgun, but it classifies as an other firearm because it doesn't have the overall length. The barrel is 14.75 inches, and of course we don't have a stock. Oh, it's time to introduce a challenge. We came up with a doozy today. The object today is going to be, can I get through 6 shells one-handed? Stick around, you're going to want to see how this goes. All right, here's our first impressions of the 990 Aftershock from Mossberg. So we've got 6 rounds of buckshot loaded up. We're gonna see how it goes. Very nice. So this is a different firearm than many of us are used to, just because it's not technically a shotgun. It kind of is a shotgun, but because it doesn't have a buttstock and it only has a 14.75 inch barrel, it's classified as an other weapon. And that means that shooting it is a little bit different. So the way that you shoot it is different. And we'll get into that more as we go through this review. But first impressions, good. It's effective and a much smaller firearm than your traditional shotgun. Oh. So what's happening is that lifter is pushing up and it wants to push this shell in, and this one's hanging it up. I know if I push that forward, the lifter is going to push that other shell in. This shell, just to be clear, has been fired. It just failed to eject. Okay, now we're back in. Let's try this again. Okay, we could be in that break-in period, right? We're using double-aught buck because we want to make sure that the semi-auto breaks in properly, and we've obviously already applied lubrication to it, so we're gonna give it every chance to succeed and just keep trucking from here and see how it goes. But whatever happens, we'll be sharing it with you. There we go. Very nice. All right, we're running well now. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing about the 990 Aftershock is with the barrel getting hot after several strings of double-aught buck, the handguard, the way it's formed, the barrel sticks up above, and so if you're manipulating, you can burn your hand. It's up there. However, I'll say this, I don't envision this being the type of firearm that you're going to shoot a bunch, reload, shoot a bunch, reload, and just keep going through whatever conflict or defensive situation you're in. This is a maybe burn a magazine down, reload, and go. I don't see it as something that you're going to fire an incredible amount to where that's going to become an issue, but you need to be aware of it, especially when you're out testing. You can burn your hand. That barrel will get extremely hot after a while. All right, we are loading up some number 8 bird shot. And I know there'll probably be people howling in the comments, you can't do that. Yes, I can. And it's strictly based on whether it will cycle or not. Now, the engineers at Mossberg spent a lot of time figuring out how to move the gas system forward so that they could put this bird's head stock on the back. And that changed some things. We're getting good cycling now that we've broken in maybe about 40 rounds of buckshot. So it's time to try the bird. Let's see what it does. Very impressed. All right, so we're having fun with the Mossberg 990 Aftershock. This other firearm is not set up directly for a red dot out of the gate. However, Mossberg put the traditional shotgun set screws on top so you can mount things up. And one of the cool things about that is Vortex recently came out with a Viper that has the capability to use those set screw holes and mount up in there. Provides you with a mounting solution for a lot of more traditional firearms like your shotguns. Lever actions have the same kind of setup too. So you're not without hope for a red dot solution with a Vortex Viper. We're gonna try it out and see how we like it. Oh! There we go. Ooh, more. There we go. Very nice. So that's going to conclude our first impressions. This isn't the most pleasant firearm to shoot just because to get it lined up, you've got to pull it up eye level. The issue then becomes, can I control that recoil without hitting myself in the face? And you can, you absolutely can. You just got to stiff arm it, but it's been cycling reliably. It doesn't really care for bird shot that much. We've probably fired maybe 50 shells through. It's doing okay, but it definitely prefers slugs and double-up buck. And it's a different firearm. My question to you is based on that. What would you, the Pew Pew Tacticians, use this firearm for? Hit us up in the comments below. Let's start the conversation. Let us know what you think. All right, let's talk about ergonomics. Now, this is an interesting firearm, primarily because of the overall length. It's so short. It's a very powerful firearm in a very compact package. And in order to accomplish that, like I said, Mossberg had to move the gas system forward, and that allowed them to put this bird's head grip on the back. They didn't drop all the utility out of that because they still got a QD cup on the end there. So you're able to grab it up. And this safety is similar to the one that we just used on the 940 Pro Tactical SPX, and I really like it. It's also got a really good texture. The charging handle also similar to what we've been seeing from Mossberg lately. A nice drum shape, and it has very good knurling on it so that you can really just grab it. Plus you've got the bolt release right here. Now, it isn't as snag-free as the 940 Pro Tactical SPX, however, good sized. Moving forward, we've got a little bit of an adaptation because the forend has some pretty good texturing on it, which it needs because a lot of the control for this firearm, you're having to eat all of that recoil whenever you break the trigger. This sling helps it from flying out of your hand, but you're mostly just pressing down on this forend to try to hold it into place. And then finally moving forward, we've got some utility up here with some M-lock on both sides and then down at the bottom too. So overall, while it's not a firearm that you can shoulder easily and fire in that sense, the ergonomics are good for what you're getting. Okay, so let's talk about accuracy. Now, this is a 14.75 inch barrel. The interesting part of that is you only have a front sight. As it stands, your accuracy is going to be based on your ability to almost classically go back to front sight only. And you've got a really nice fiber optic up here that's really bright, especially in this bright sunlight. And we are going to shoot buckshot at 5, 10, 15, and 25 yards and just see how it patterns. I don't see any kind of choke, so we're just gonna see how the buckshot patterns. This is 9 pellet Winchester double-out buck. And we'll take it from there and just see how it goes. That's nice and tight, a couple of inches. Let's push back to 10 and see how that goes. It's a little bit high. Again, I don't have the ability to confirm with a rear sight, but just a little bit wider, almost twice as wide. 5, and here's our 10. Mis cosas con chingaderas. Here we are at the 15. Yep, so kind of the same, a little bit here too. And finally from the 25. Not sure how high, but we certainly went about that wide. So again, 5, 10, 15, and 25, but you're still covering man-sized target pretty well. Decent accuracy. All right, we've loaded up 5 slugs. We're here at the 25, going to continue to test accuracy. I will admit up front, accuracy is a little more challenging when you don't have a shoulder or collarbone that you can put this in. These are Hornady tap slugs. They buck pretty hard. I'm gonna do my best to put a decent group together, and keeping in mind that I only have the front sight, we'll try it out, and hopefully I don't knock my teeth in too. That was such a wonderful smile. Okay, I don't even know how that went, but let's go see. All right, so one of the things that I'm noticing with accuracy is despite me holding down here, I'm still hitting here at 25 yards. I'm actually pretty proud of this group because I didn't rearrange my dental work, and these are all, you know, 5, 6 inches within each other. So that's pretty decent accuracy. So let's talk about the trigger. Often overlooked on shotguns, but this one is decent. I like it. Good crisp break, and there's a reset. It's pretty light, but it is tactile and audible. I can feel it and I can also hear it. I would say it's between 3 and 4 pounds. It's actually lighter than the 940 Pro Tactical SPX that we just tested. Folks, we want to take a moment to shout out one of our Pew Pew Tacticians, one of the people that make this possible for us. We're doing this for you guys. We hope to provide a service where we share our experiences with firearms so that you can make informed decisions about what you're going to buy next. Evil Freak 666, thanks for being there. We appreciate you. We're just happy to be part of your dreams. Here we are at our final thoughts on the 990 Aftershock. This is a cool firearm. I'm curious about what uses you viewers are going to envision this thing for. I've got a few in my mind. It's obviously something that is smaller, more compact, so that you can tuck it away. Big upgrade in firepower potentially, but it's also not nearly as big as a full rifle or a full shotgun. So overall, the ergonomics are good, given what it is. It's a very small firearm, and a lot of power is coming out of the end, so it's more challenging to hang on to. The recoil impulse, depending on what you're firing, birdshot, piece of cake. Double up buck was okay. It was a little more challenging, and slugs were definitely a hit. But if you spend some time practicing with it, making sure that you're not hitting yourself in the face as you sight down that barrel, it's an effective firearm and can be accurate even out to 25 yards. We were hitting full 9 pellets on our man-sized targets, so good accuracy there. The reliability, it hasn't been 100%, but it's been good. We broke it in with buckshot, a strict diet of buckshot, ran all the way through, probably 50 rounds of that, and then once we started shifting into birdshot, we had a few that had a problem with cycling. Slugs, no problem whatsoever. It ate them up, but it definitely had some challenges with the birdshot. So overall, pretty decent on the reliability. And then again, like, the value is something that you're going to have to decide, but I can tell you there are multiple versions of this. First off, this is the 14.75 inch. They also make an 18 inch because some states are more fastidious about lengths of barrels. But the price for the standard issue version is going to be $1,100. That's MSRP, so you can imagine that it'll probably sell cheaper than that. And then $1,300 for a Crimson Trace laser saddle option, a laser that mounts up on the side and sights down the side of the barrel so that you can actually see it on your target. And that removes the entire possibility of having to go up like this, that requirement to sight down your weapon. So overall, I think a very interesting firearm. And something else that you might consider is, because Mossberg moved the gas system forward, that means that the world is your oyster back here. You can absolutely turn this into a short barreled shotgun or an SBS. You just got to file that Form 1. So make sure that you're staying legal. Oh crap, the challenge is coming up next. And on to the challenge. We've cooked up a good one today. It's not going to be based on time or accuracy, but rather, can it be done? Can I fire this one-handed? I got 6 shells in here. I'm going to see if I can get through all of them one-handed. Now, this is not something I can recommend you trying, and I'm certain that Mossberg would not recommend this, but I just want to see if it's possible, so here we go. Piece of cake, baby, all day long. Challenge complete. That's going to do it for us. We want to thank you, the Pew Pew Tacticians, for following along. Appreciate you hitting up the comments below. Let us know what you think. Also, if you're interested in more content like this, check out our recent review of the Mossberg 940 Pro Tactical SPX. You can click on the link in the description below or just wait and it'll pop up on your screen. Thank you very much.